like a laboratory experiment gone wrong. We all have a hidden monster that escapes from time to time. What shape does your inner monster take? Have you soothed the wild beast within? Confront your monsters if you dare in tonight's reading, Monster Mash. Welcome, fellow Mooncats, to the third video in a series of 8 special readings taking us all the way up to Halloween night. Each of these readings is drawn from an element associated with the hallowed evening. The custom of divination at this time of year is a rich tradition, as it's well known to be an auspicious time for communication with spirit. And so we continue the tradition with tonight's reading, Monster Mash. If you look, you will see 3 monster cards in the center of the table, drawn from the Halloween Oracle. Each one expresses a hidden torment. For option number 1, we have the zombie. For option number 2, we have the mummy. And for option number 3, we have the werewolf. I'll give you a moment now to choose your monster, and it's perfectly okay to have more than one, even if you have all 3. For those of you who chose the zombie, this is your reading. Welcome to the Monster Mash. In this reading, we're seeking the inner monster that comes out from time to time. And you chose the zombie. So the zombie, as you can see on this card, deals with issues of control. In Haitian voodoo, a zombie is a dead body that has been enchanted to return to life by bringing a soul back into it. It doesn't need to be its own soul. It could be any soul brought back into the body. And this soul being in the body reanimates it. However, the practitioner or the magician who has brought that soul into the body is the one who's in control. The soul itself has no control over what the body does. It's only there to animate it. So the question, as we are looking at this zombie card, is, are you the one controlling the zombie? Or are you the zombie, the spirit trapped inside a dead body? So this would mean that being the zombie means that you're so much under the control of others that it is as if your body is dead to you. It doesn't respond to your own will. It responds to the will of others. Now, if you're the one controlling the zombie, then that means that you're so oppressing the people around you that they are in that zombie state. So we're going to take a look at the cards today to see what they reveal about the details of what your position is, whether you're the zombie or the practitioner in control. Now, I have already laid out your cards, and I have 3 major arcana cards at the top of the reading to help us understand the overall issues involved, and then I drew the cards from a full tarot deck in order to get more details about your situation. So I just want to explain that in this reading, I'm not using a structure. I pulled the cards intuitively, and so it'll let my intuition guide how many to draw. Okay. And at the end of the reading, after we've examined the messages here, I will pull an oracle card for further guidance. Okay, so let's begin. The first card you have here is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is extremely intuitive and extremely knowledgeable as far as magic is concerned. In spiritual matters, she's well scholared and well learned. The High Priestess is feminine because she is in that intuitive power, and she bridges heaven and earth. So she is able to ground spiritual energy and lift earthly energy, almost like a lightning rod for spiritual insight. I'm extremely drawn to the shape of the High Priestess in this card because she is Medusa, as you can see. But as I look at her snake-like body, I can't help but think of the spinal cord. And the fact that she embodies snakes, this has me thinking of Kundalini energy. And so there is an issue here, perhaps, with that flow of energy. When all your chakras are ignited by the Kundalini energy and fully from root to crown, that's when the lightning sparks and there's great spiritual insight. So there could be matters of control involving allowing your energy to flow freely so that you're not that dead thing inside the body, but a living, active, and engaged in life kind of soul. Now this card here is going to be what's at the center of the reading. This hit me as I looked at the image, because we've got a reference to voodoo again, and that was there in the zombie card. The sun is the happiest card in the tarot. So to receive this at your center is a very beautiful thing. This card outshines any troubles or difficulties that can be had. And it's like the ultimate happy ending. So there's a great concern here with happiness, or being able to feel the vitality of life. Okay, so that brings us, that Kundalini type energy, meaning that everything is like awake and alive. When your chakras are off balance, that's when you experience negative aspects, whether that's like physical ailments or emotional blocks, or other kinds of mental, emotional issues that can all occur when that energy isn't flowing freely, isn't right. And so we have this recurring theme of vitality and a recurring theme of control, because again, that reference to voodoo, and voodoo is used to give control over aspects of life that we wouldn't otherwise have control over. Let's see if we can get some more information. Okay. It's looking to me like you are the zombie in this situation, because this is a call to wake up. This is a call to those who have been living in a dead way, like a mechanical life that is devoid of feeling or devoid of inspiration, devoid of emotional fulfillment. But you'll notice there's zombies in this card too, but they're being called awake. The Judgment card is often like spirit is blowing a horn so loudly to get the dead to wake up. And so there is a great call for you at this time to awaken to the presence of spirit in yourself and in life. So you may be at a point right now where you're not very sure about spirit or spiritual existence or the reality of a spiritual dimension to life. And you're being called to awaken to that, to bring in the sun and bring in this beautiful happiness, because something that has happened here is without that presence of spirit, then you can't feel the sunshine. You can't feel the happiness. Okay, let's see if we can get some more detail. I was so very excited and happy to receive the Stranger Things tarot. We're using that today. Your first card here is the 10 of dice. This would correspond to swords in the regular tarot deck. And the 10 of dice is a difficult card. This may be explaining why there's been a kind of shut down and this living in a dead way, because of having had a terrible experience. In the guidebook for this card, it says this is a game that you can't win. You just got to keep rolling the dice to get through it. So there's some situation here that is not working out, that is leaving you very hurt, feeling very painful, and perhaps a great betrayal has taken place. What follows this is the Ace of Scoops. The Ace of Scoops is representing the Ace of Pentacles. So this is saying that there is this really great, wonderful, delicious new opportunity. It's sort of waiting in the wings for you to come into alignment with it. This is like, this is like coming into your purpose. So this is why it's under the High Priestess card, because it's what's happening here is you're coming into your divine purpose, your life purpose, so that you're earning money in a way that is in with spiritual alignment. So that, yeah, and then following your purpose brings in the sun. And this is why you're being woken up to the intuitive side of life, that intuition that needs to rise up. And that is because once it does, that will lead you to this opportunity here. That will lead you to your Ace of Pentacles, or your yes, like I said before, your life purpose for earning money. So when you are not in alignment with that, then there is this very dreary sort of stuck energy. If you've ever been in a position, and I have, where you wake up in the morning and just hate your life because you have to go do this job that is just soul sucking. It's just taking the life force out of you. Perhaps this is the reason that you're in a zombie state. If you've ever experienced that, then you know the value and the importance of this Ace of Pentacles coming in. And to live a life where you're happy about what you're doing every day, where you wake up and you look forward to what lies ahead, to live that kind of life is something that I think a lot of us would cherish, would love to have. And so that is why Spirit wants you to wake up, and they're calling so hard for you to wake up at this time. Calling for you to wake up because they want you to see this. But in order to see this, you have to, hold on, here we go. In order to see this, you're going to need to get back in touch with your spiritual side and get back in touch with your intuition. So it all does come together. Okay, let's get some more details here. Okay, so we have the Two of Dice. In this deck, that would be like the Two of Swords. This means that you are currently ambivalent. You're stuck between two directions. You're pulled equally in two directions, and because of that equal resistance, you're stuck. You're at a standstill. This may be the desire to change and the fear to change. So at some point, you have to embrace one direction or the other and go that way. And here again, that High Priestess card comes into play, because it will be important to use your intuition to guide you as to which direction is correct for you if you're being pulled in multiple directions. Now, of course, if this is like the need to change and the fear to change, well, let's just point out that fear is often not the correct path to take. Although sometimes we do need to proceed with caution. Okay. Interesting to me that this has fallen under the Judgment card. because what we have here is a decision to end something. And that's why we're looking at a gravestone. This is not the death card, though. This is 3 of dice. So this is minor arcana. It may be... So it may be just on that level where it's important in this cycle, but not overall. This is a permanent change that needs to take place. A permanent end to something. Okay, so with the 3 of swords, that's that heartbreak energy. Okay. So we have these two, which I think help to define the zombie state, or how we got there into the zombie state. Because we're feeling betrayed, and feeling heartbroken. That they're, let's see if I can hold these steady. Feeling betrayed and feeling heartbroken. It's a very difficult decision to make, to bring this cycle to an end. But the cycle needs to end because it is just causing you pain. Okay, so with this, with the tarot all laid out, let's pull some oracle card and see if we have any further advice. Okay. And we have artificial heart. Now, this is very in keeping with our theme here. So, again, this is an allusion to living in a mechanical, unnatural way. This is someone who would shut their heart down, actually, and be in a space that is purely strategic and logical. This is not to say that there's anything wrong with logic. Logic is, of course, a necessary and useful thought to have. But when you're so caught up in the logical mind, there's no room for emotions. That's when you become this mechanical thing, and this unhappy mechanical thing. And so this card is a gentle warning against doing that. Okay, well, that concludes the reading for today. I hope that you do find a way to heal the pain inside and get back in touch with your intuition so you can find that ace of scoops that's out there in the energetic wings just waiting to come into your life. I hope you have enjoyed your Monster Mash reading, and if you have, please like the video, and if you would like to see more similar readings, I am doing a Halloween readathon. For the week of Halloween, I am doing a new reading each night, or that is guided through or by a kind of Halloween theme. If you go to Mooncat Tarot, on my channel there is a playlist for the Halloween readathon. So you might want to check out some of the videos over there, and if you really like them, you may choose to subscribe and click on that notification bell so that you can know when the new videos come out. So I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful to you. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in another video. For those of you who chose The Mummy, this is your reading. When we think of mummies, we think of preservation. The idea of mummification was to preserve the body and to prepare it for the afterlife, preparing the body for the transformation of the soul migrating out of it. And it was a highly ritualized practice to mummify. But the theme of this card is change. So there is a conflict already here between wanting to preserve what was and embracing the change that lies ahead. So remembering that particularly in Egyptian religion, the afterlife was an active, vibrant place. It was nothing dormant about it. When you cross from this world to the next, you're crossing onto a great adventure. And this great adventure beyond this world was seen even as the more desirable place to be. And that is why within the culture there was so much obsession with the afterlife, because it was this promise of a great adventurous transformation. Okay, so welcome to your Monster Mash reading. And when I think of monsters, what comes to mind is nightmares. Particularly the kind of nightmares where you're being chased. And then those nightmares can come back again and again and again in a recurring dream. And they come back until you have the courage to turn around and confront the monster. And often the resolution to that is something simpler than we feared. So in other words, all the fear built around a simple truth is so much greater than it actually is. So sometimes in dreams, we turn around to confront the monster, and then the monster becomes ourselves. And that is much like what we're exploring in this reading, is what is it that we are afraid to confront about ourselves? Okay, so let's begin with your mummy card being the overall theme. We're looking at major transformations or changes occurring in your life at this time. And in the first card, we have the Lovers. Now, this is the opposite to the Devil energy. That's the best way. This is the opposite to the Devil energy. And Devil energy is giving in to temptation, which would be a self-destructive temptation, whereas the Lovers card is about rising above that. Originally, this card used to be called the Choice, or making a choice, before it became the Lovers card. So the idea here is to make a choice that brings you into a positive union. And this can indicate external relationships, but it can also indicate personal transformation, which is to say, there is a choice here, a choice to be made that brings the unification of the self and allows then communication with divine spirit. Now, this is a Halloween themed deck, but if it was the original tarot card, this would be an angel from heaven to symbolize divine communication. So as we think about that theme of change, and then having this card come out first, it has me thinking of the need to confront a change that is trying to occur. So this is some kind of transformation in yourself or your life that is requiring your acceptance to move on. And then let's take our next card. Not surprised to see the Tower. So the Tower card means there is a profound and sudden change that occurs that destroys the former foundation and creates a completely new life. So we're dealing with major change, definitely a major change. So that lightning, I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it back. I had more thoughts about it. So that lightning from the top is like this sudden realization, this sudden moment of awareness that just breaks everything else down. And it could be a moment of deciding, I'm not going to live in an oppressed way anymore. So the thing with the Lovers and the Devil card being opposites, this is the choice that is unchained. Whereas in the Devil card, that is those two aspects. When I say aspects, I'm sorry, I need to explain more. When I say aspects, what I'm talking about is the masculine and feminine energy within. And so also this is conscious, subconscious mind. And when we're talking about being unified, we're talking about not having a conflict between what is a truth that is trying to emerge from the subconscious and our willingness to accept and admit that truth, or do we reject it and hide it and try to suppress it? So there's something like that here going on that wants to burst forth. It wants to come up into complete awareness, and that choice to embrace that truth is the unbinding choice. So no chains around the necks in this card. It could be that this has been something that's been avoided for a while. The mummy tries to preserve things for a long period of time. So it could be that this is a truth that's been avoided for a while, and a truth that has tried to be suppressed, but refuses to remain that way any longer. In that volcano explosion in the Lovers card, remember that a volcano explodes after years and years of pressure builds up. And then finally this World card emerges. Okay, so in this World card, he's going through a portal and emerging. So this is Dr. Jekyll emerging as Mr. Hyde. And if you're familiar with the story of Jekyll and Hyde, then you know that he had created a potion that would isolate and extract all the negative qualities of mankind. The doctor had become disillusioned with humanity, and he wanted to make people better. But when he drank his potion, what happened is that he himself transformed into all those negative qualities that he had within himself. And so he had two personas. The daytime persona, the conscious persona of Dr. Jekyll, and then the nighttime, the hidden persona of Mr. Hyde, the subconscious persona. So again, we're looking at this sort of conflict between what the conscious and subconscious mind want to accept. So it is not to say that what is being suppressed is bad, but only that when a thing is hidden and neglected, it becomes a dark energy. But it need not be that, because once it is embraced, like the monster in the nightmare, it transforms. Okay, so the tarot deck, this was the Terror tarot deck that I used in the top row. They only have major arcana cards. So we're using this to look at the overall theme of what is happening for you at this time. And it's seeming very clear, very reinforced that there is a kind of transformation or change that is causing conflict, that is causing suppression that wants to burst forth. We're going to use the Stranger Things Tarot, which is a full tarot deck, to get some more details about this message. So let's see what we find here. We have the 10 of Strands. So in this deck, strands would be like wands energy. And we know that if you're familiar with the show and the series, then you know that the character in this card at this moment is under perhaps the most stress she has ever experienced in her life, and a great amount of duress. And she's reaching out. Those strands of lights are her most desperate hope to reach out and find a solution to the problem, which I won't say too much for those, because if you have never seen, by the way, definitely watch Stranger Things. Okay, so moving on. Sorry. This change, this transformation at this point in time is leaving you feeling that you are desperately burdened. And you're trying. Each one of these lights is a desperate attempt to communicate. So imagine it like the subconscious mind trying so desperately in this way or another way or another way to bring that truth into light, to communicate that truth. And so these lights in this story are communicating across worlds. They're a form of communication across worlds. So again, we just see this theme of the conscious, subconscious, and that struggle between them, causing a great amount of burden. I find it interesting that this one fell just underneath where the Tower is, and I also find it interesting that this one fell just underneath the Lovers. As I explained, Lovers too can represent external relationships, and sometimes even with the best of intentions, the people who love us because they have a certain concept of who we are can be the ones who restrict us. And so this falling under the Lover's card makes me feel like part of the strain and the stress and the resistance to this truth coming forth is the fear of changing into something that your loved ones would not expect you to be. And then we get the Page of Dice coming out right underneath the Tower. Now this Page of Dice he is just beginning to find his true voice and his means of expressing himself. And that is the meaning of the card here. Okay, the underlying force of that Tower is that you are finding your truth and just beginning, like a newly born thing, just beginning to understand how to express your truth. And then we have the Five of Strands. This is a card of conflict. So that's showing that there's still a fight. There's still a fight within. And there may be external resistance too. So where the 10 of Strands was about feeling burdened, the 5 of Strands is about feeling almost under this constant barrage of just not physical conflict, but just like opposing opinions and opposing arguments, and just finding it very difficult to hold your ground. And yet that is another part of this card, is that you are encouraged to hold your ground through this tough time. And our final card is the Moon. Okay, so the Moon is all about secrets and what's hidden, and that it needs to come into the light. So again, major reinforcement of that theme here. And what I really like is 11 being the one who represents that Moon, because 11 is a powerful fighter. And 11 she fights for finding the truth and for making it known. And so what we see here is being empowered in the subconscious and having that come out and overwhelm all of the conflict and the struggle, to stand empowered and say, this is my truth. Okay. So now that we're at the end of the tarot cards, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card, and we'll see if we can get some further advice. Our oracle card is Sacrifice. This has such Joan of Arc energy to me. So she is strong. She is determined. She is prepared. And she's walking into battle with her head held high. So in this card, she sacrifices her fear. She sacrifices her doubts and her worry. And whatever might be surrounding her, whatever negative forces might be surrounding her They're not getting through her determination or her shield. So, no, sometimes we can be surrounded by a conflict that just involves all of these little, tiny little, like, it's like insect bites, right? Like tiny little annoying things, like gossip or just hurtful words. This warrior does not back down. This warrior continues forging ahead until the battle is won. And in this case, winning the battle means accepting the transformation. You are developing into someone different. We'll always hold on to our core selves. That doesn't change. But human life is about growth and change. We go through transformations all along the way. You are not the same person now that you were 5 years ago. And you're definitely not the same person that you were 10 years ago. This is because learning and experiences have real change. Change that lasts, change that cannot be unchanged. You're going through something now that's changing you from the person that you are into a different person. So that you'll be looking back to that point of time, to this point of time, and saying, I am not the same person now that I was then. It seems that this is going to be a difficult truth to expose. And you're just beginning to find your first voice, your truth, the voice of your truth, in order to do that. And it's been a great struggle to bring that voice forward. But, here it comes. And the tower is imminent. So the tower is coming into your life to shake it up, change it up, and destroy all the foundation so that when you build anew, what you build is going to be truly your own. All right, and that concludes the reading for the Mummy. Those who chose the Mummy card, thank you for watching. This is in the Halloween readathon, so if you're interested in seeing more, you please tune into my channel, Mooncat Tarot, and find the Halloween readathon playlist. And there I will be posting all of the videos that I'm making for Halloween. The readathon is going on for the full week of leading up to Halloween night. And each night, one new video is posted. So you may want to, if you're enjoying these readings, you may want to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time a new video comes out. For now, I just thank you for watching. I thank you for your support, and I wish you well on your way. I hope I catch you in another video. For those of you who chose the Werewolf, this is your reading. Welcome to your Monster Mash reading. In this reading, we're taking a look at what it is, what would be our inner monster. In other words, what is it that's in our subconscious that we don't like to confront or don't like to look at. So doing this reading, I'm reminded of nightmares. And we think of that recurring dream where you're being chased. I don't know if you've ever had a dream like that, but when I was young, I did. I had a monster dream that kept coming back to me until I had the courage to turn around and face the monster. And then the recurring dream never occurred again. Often dreams like this, there is a message coming up from the subconscious that is trying desperately to reach you. And usually that is really what the chase is about, though we feel threatened by the knowledge, we feel threatened by the information. It's something we try to deny or something we try to resist or even suppress. But it usually just needs to come forth anyway. So when we speak of the werewolf, that's a particular kind of energy to that monster, because there is such a unity with the moon and the werewolf. The moon comes full, it comes out, and it draws that inner beast out. So the magic cannot be denied. And the transformation cannot be resisted. And so as we consider the werewolf, we're talking about exploring that which can no longer be suppressed, that which must come out. It's this forceful energy that is as powerful as that need to howl at the moon. I have a layout here from a couple of different decks, and the one at the top is the Tarot, which only has major arcana cards. So what we're doing is using that tarot deck as looking at the bigger picture or the overall energy of what is going on around you right now. And then we're going to use the Stranger Things Tarot, which is a full tarot deck, to get into the details. And so we're kind of using the upper layer for overall big picture ideas, and then the bottom layer for details. Let's begin with card number 1. Okay, and the first card coming up is the Lovers. A long time ago, the Lovers card was called the Choice. And it was about the choice between this energy here or the energy in the Devil card. Now, in the Devil card, there are chains that bind the lovers, and they're bound to the devil. In other words, they are bound to a temptation, a destructive temptation. And the opposite in the Lover's card is to be free from that burden. If we look at this from a psychological point of view, then we have this masculine form representing consciousness, and the female form representing the subconscious, and then the angel form representing superconsciousness. And then that driving force of the two of them in balance, this makes me think of that Kundalini rising up to the crown chakra. So there is that burst of light energy that opens up the connection to the divine by being balanced and grounded. That open line to the divine burst forth. Card number 2 is a Judgment card. And in this card, she is literally waking the dead. That symbolizes a spiritual awakening. Sometimes we walk through life as if we are asleep or dead or zombies. We're just going through routine and there's no vitality to our existence. So the Judgment card is a card of awakening, taking you out of that zombie-like existence into a vital one. And okay, so this is calling you to wake up and find the Empress energy here. The call is to wake up and then come into Empress energy. Now, Empress energy is this abundant, fertile, creative energy where creativity is just like this natural force that pours forth out of her. And so we see all these sparkles creating that tiara of stars. Well, that is to symbolize the connection to the divine. And this Empress is very much calling to goddess energy as she has the Ankh around her neck. And the thing to remember with the Empress is, again, every female energy or persona in the tarot is representing that intuitive energy. So the Empress creates in a very intuitive way. The thing about the Empress is that she is also a very nurturing soul. That's a little harder to see in this card, but she has abundance to share it, to nurture, to give. Okay, so let's go to... All right, this one is the 6 of dice. Oh, look at that. Huh. Oh no, my card is broken. I'm gonna have to tape that down or something. Ugh. To the makers of the Stranger Things tarot deck, send me a new card. Okay. All right. Anyway, this is the 6 of dice, and this card is about being in a perilous place. We see, I'm going to bring this closer, and it says, "Here there be monsters." So you are finding yourself in a place where you are surrounded by danger. And yet the reminder in this card is that you have resources. You have the means to carry on ahead. Even if that resources is, calling your friends for backup. Okay. So this is the Knight of Strands. And he has his own cliche saying, and he says, what does he say? Don't deny before you try, or something like that. And basically saying, so there is perhaps a denial going on here. And that could be something calling to you that you're not sure about. But the advice here is, you know what? Just relax, release, give it a try. Give it a try, and then decide. Don't decide beforehand. And then we have the Magician. So the Magician is the manifestor card. He says, as above, so below. And this... There we go. And this card being present here is saying that you have the ability now to live the life that you want. You have everything you need to live the life that you want. You just got to make it happen. And finally, there's the High Priestess energy. Now, the High Priestess is the most powerful intuitive. The most powerful intuitive power in the deck. And so she is the force of magic itself. And so we have here all these indicators of intuitive energy and manifestation, and it feels to me like this is a very special calling. This is a calling to a spiritual power or reality. This is a calling to take your place or to come into your own intuitive powers. So it is that you maybe have been in denial about what your real talents and abilities are. That there is something, very powerful intuitively for you to develop and tune into. All right. So now that we have completed the tarot cards of this reading, what I'd like to do is go to the oracle. And we're going to choose an oracle card just to end the reading with. And we have here, forgetting oneself. And that is so in alignment with the idea of the werewolf. When the werewolf transforms, there is no memory of the human life or the human identity. There is just that newness, that new vitality of the werewolf transformation. So in this card, the card is challenging you to forget everything that you have known about yourself in the past and prepare for a powerful transformation of yourself into some very intuitive gifts, some very spiritual gifts that you have inside you. It's already there. It's not like this is yet to be given. It's already there inside of you and needs only to be unified and grounded in order to come forth. So I'm thinking of that Lover's card. Okay. Needs only to have that to come forward, and then the challenge is to completely forget what used to be and embrace the new beginning. All right, that concludes the werewolf reading, and I hope you enjoyed your Monster Mash reading. If you did, you might be interested in some more Halloween videos. If you are, then head on over to the Mooncat Tarot channel and check out the playlist for the Halloween readathon. I hope that these readings are both entertaining and valuable. If you do like them, please hit that like button. And you might want to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can receive notifications when the new videos come out. For now, I'm just grateful for your viewership. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.